Hello, I'm Fumi and it is really great to be with you guys here today. If you're new here, welcome. Today we are doing another Write With Me. The last Write With Me session was about our cyberpunk high fantasy world, and we really were just working to get ourselves grounded, right? We were getting some structure, coming up with the story summary, but now it's time to get into details, and I have been ruminating over quite a few details, and maybe those ideas will take us elsewhere. We're not going to get necessarily into specific characters today. I will admit there are a lot of stray ideas that I need to organize. They're scattered all throughout my notebook in many random pages. I'll just get an idea and then I'll start writing it down. Like, literally, look at this. Like, what the freak? So I'm gonna have to decipher this for you. I'm really excited. Of course, I can't quite remember, so you and I both are gonna rediscover all the randomness that I've been cooking in these past, like, few weeks, really. As always, remember to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell for more videos like these. And let's get to it. Just to think of those who are new to this channel, we're going to go ahead and read out our story summary that we came up with last time. In the cyberpunk fantasy world of WonderlandX0X0, a forgotten girl with a lost past awakens as a cyborg named Miku. Unknown to herself, Miku was once Alice, daughter of the ruthless Red Queen, leader of the Valentine Mafia. After a mysterious explosion tore Alice from her family, the Red Queen spiraled into madness, seeking power and wealth to fill the void of her missing heir. Miku's dormant body is hidden on the ruined planet Underland, powered by a heart of rosary, a legendary crystal once capable of fueling entire worlds. Saved from the brink of death by the enigmatic misfit in the wizard Absalom, Miku becomes the key to a prophecy foretelling a cyborg who can stand against a destructive force threatening countless planets. Her fated rediscovery falls to the White Rabbit, a cunning black market dealer and reluctant mafia operative. Sent by the Red Queen to find the last of Rosary, White Rabbit stumbles upon Miku in Underland. Her uncanny resemblance to the Alice he once saw as a child rattles him. He is tasked with returning her to the Mafia, but removing her power core means her death. Torn between duty and his growing feelings for her, White Rabbit must choose: obey the Queen or protect the cyborg girl who rekindles his lost humanity. In a world where humans become machines and machines act more human than their creators, Miku and White Rabbit's journey explores identity, resilience, and the fragile line between love and survival. Alrighty, it is most definitely not absolutely where we want to be, but it's a start. It's definitely a start to a story. Let's go ahead and take a peek at some of these ideas that are absolutely everywhere. Okay, I have a note here. It says the wizard is AI created by the Mad Hatter to soothe Miku and teach her. Wow, very exciting. Alrighty, that's a great, what an idea to start with. Okay, so we have this idea of a wizard, right? We got our wizard guy. His name is Absalom. And in the original webtoon, we see this wizard visiting Miku, telling her bedtime stories and whatnot. And I was really trying to place, like, what's the connection between Absalom, the Red Hatter, and Miku? And I thought maybe all along, this Absalom character, of course, as you guys just heard, was AI, like a little holographic, artificial person that was meant to parent Miku, help her sustain her humanity. Right, all right. That's a great start. So we're gonna go ahead and put the wizard Absalom, I think is how we spell that. Absalom is actually an AI, artificial intelligence that is meant to maintain and, I want to say grow, but that's not quite the right word. Harness, grow, garner. What does it mean when you're like taking care of something? Not to sustain, but to almost like develop. That doesn't quite feel right. Garner, develop, harness is very close, but it's not quite it. Maintain and there's probably a really great word I'm forgetting right now. Let's see. It's almost similar to like foster, garden, garner, develop. I can't think of the word that is meant to maintain. Or let's make sure to put actually an artificial intelligence created by the Mad Hatter. We can put in another sentence. Absalom is meant to maintain. Oh, I just thought of something. Okay, hold on. Absalom is meant to maintain her humanity. Let's just keep that. But also, I think Absalom, when leaving Underland with Alice, is put into, I don't know if you guys know Birdie the Mighty Decode, which is definitely my start into liking the more like sci-fi, galactic, it's not really cyberpunk, but it's kind of cyberpunk. But it definitely was my introduction into, I don't even know what you would call it, very galactic type genre. Anyways, it's a really, really good anime. Super, I wouldn't say niche, because honestly, the pacing is very much something I think people would like today, but for some reason I don't find it on mainstream platforms. I haven't seen it anywhere really. And I would be super stoked to. It has a really amazing opening sequence. It's beautiful. So, oh, but anyways, she has like this squid-like character that's also a robot but also can turn into a human, and I'm pretty sure he's like artificial intelligence. He is like a robot. He's not like an actual person. But we're gonna put Absalom into a fun mascot of some sort, like an R2D2 type beat, but like different. I wonder what that should be. If you guys have any ideas below, I'm gonna try and think of one. I love a ram. You know, my profile picture has little ram horns, so I love a little sheep. Let's see, Alice in Wonderland related. He could be a caterpillar. Maybe a little butterfly type thing. Interesting. I would be thinking it could change forms. And I think a butterfly, that's an idea to expand on. But let's see, when leaving Underland with Alice is transfers over to, what could it be? Ooh, you know what? Wow, I don't, just while thinking, not yet determined creature robot thing that travels with her. I think if the new Absalom form is butterfly-like, it can possibly connect to Miku's back and become wings. Like he could transform in a way and then attach to her, and then she could fly using Absalom, which I think is really cool because it still has that form of wizardry in a way. Very fun. I think that this other body Absalom transfers into, of course, is created by the Mad Hatter. But we don't want it to be too OP, I suppose. We want to find some balance. I almost want to think of it, maybe it's like a handheld comm that has wings on it, and then she can press a button and it can change form into wings. Maybe the forms it has are very limited. Because, you know, like Alice goes to Absalom whenever she's looking for wisdom, information. And maybe Absalom turns into this communication device that gives her information on the world, or she just confides in Absalom still via the phone, which I think is super cool. Still very AI-like, kind of very much speaks to today and how AI is being used in a very interesting way. The device that Absalom is transferred to is a communication device that the Mad Hatter created. Okay, but the communication device is not very cute. I want a cute mascot. A butterfly is interesting. It's just like I've never really seen like a cute butterfly mascot. That's besides like the worm in the freaking Adventure Time. Let's just think of, maybe it is a rabbit. I was just looking at my Miffy plushie. Like a little rabbit is cute. What other ideas? Miffy is so cute. Miffy's like the perfect little guy that just like hangs out. So simple and cute. I would give my kid a Miffy for like a little stuffed animal. Super easy to hold. You can put like a bottle in between her ears. Portable. Just a cute girl. I don't know if a Miffy has a gender or is a boy or a girl, but very cute. Sorry. Getting a little distracted. Let's just name off animals. Butterfly, caterpillar, bunny rabbit, sheep, ram, goat, octopus, starfish, star, blob, glob, ditto, Eevee, hedgehog, otter, butterfly, all right. I think rabbit is a really good one. A rabbit that can turn into a butterfly. Like the 3 forms could be butterfly, rabbit, wings. Communication device. Butterfly, rabbit, not caterpillar. Butterfly, rabbit, wings, comms. Okay, I'm gonna look up what a cartoon butterfly would look like. It's gonna be hard to make expressions. Let's do kawaii butterfly. Like, I could try. It's a little awkward. It's kind of cute. Could be, oh, that's cute. That's kind of fun. It doesn't really give Absalom, but it certainly gives something. Let's take it to the internet. Animal mascot ideas or magical mascot ideas. Yeah, like magical girls, it's cat. I don't really. Oh, cat. Like Cheshire cat. Combining the Cheshire cat with Absalom. Oh, but it would be, oh, maybe Absalom is just a comm device. I'm trying to think. Absalom is like Jarvis, you know? The Cheshire cat, I think, is a better concept as a magical companion or like a friend, animal companion. Okay, ideas. Okay, we're scratching Absalom becoming that kind of companion. Let's just say that Absalom's consciousness is transferred to her comms, a communication device. See, the wizard Absalom is actually, yeah, okay, we don't have to change anything here. Interesting, okay. Now we have the idea of the Cheshire cat becoming, I'm gonna put all ideas that are not fully formed yet in yellow. Cheshire, I don't even know how you would spell that, hold on. Oh, I spelled it right? The Cheshire cat becomes, I say magical companion, but just like companion pet of sorts. Yeah, that's all I got. I didn't forget about him, but I think it would definitely apply to that concept a little bit better. Absalom being a source of information and becoming like comms for her is a little bit better. This is not a lot of information, but let's just clean this up with ChatGPT back in our WonderlandX0X project. Can you help me write a bit more about the wizard using this additional information? Boom. Alrighty. I'm so excited. All right, and here we go. The wizard Absalom is no ordinary sorcerer. He is an advanced artificial intelligence created by the eccentric genius known as the Mad Hatter. Designed to preserve Alice's humanity, Absalom holds the last fragments of her memories, emotions, and essence, guiding her even after her transformation into the cyborg Miku. When Misfit rescues Alice and brings her to Underland, it is Absalom who stabilizes her dying body, ensuring she survives in her new mechanical form. However, Underland is a graveyard of lost history, and even Absalom cannot remain there forever. As Miku's journey begins, I got shivers. I actually got I got chills. I got chills reading that. You guys, I hope you get this. I love this. Okay, Underland is a graveyard of lost history, and even Absalom cannot remain there forever. As Miku's journey begins, Absalom transfers his consciousness into a specialized communication device, another invention of the Mad Hatter. This device, adaptable and sentient, takes on a new form, yet to be determined, to accompany Miku on her travels. If Absalom's new form mirrors that of a butterfly, he could serve as both guardian and guide, seamlessly connecting to Miku's back to become mechanical wings, an ethereal fusion of technology and magic. These wings could enhance her movement, acting as a power regulator, a data interface, or even a weapon of times in need. More than just an assistant, Absalom remains a tether to her lost past, whispering forgotten truths and keeping her spirit alive in a world that seeks to erase her identity. As Miku navigates a universe filled with deception, lost memories, and dangerous forces, Absalom remains her unwavering protector, an echo of the Mad Hatter's ingenuity and a beacon of her lingering humanity. Wow, wow. I love this. I love this. I cannot hide my excitement. These are the joys in life. Creating awesome lore. This made my entire day. Life is good. I'm crying, throwing up. Okay. Sheesh. Okay, and then we're gonna replace this information. Replace, copy and paste. Is that our new jingle for when we're replacing our info with ChatGPT type beats? Replace, copy and paste. I'm just sitting in the euphoria of that whole experience. Wow. That was so much fun. Do you guys ever get that way where you're just like something amazing happens and you just want to sit in it and you just want to bathe in the joy? So exciting. Sorry. Let's look into some more notes that we have going on. We'll let that rest. We'll come back. Of course, like Absalom is not done by any means, but we have a good idea of where it's going. But I want to move on and just let this story expand. It'll definitely help us to loop back and fill in other gaps if we have other context to work with. So let's read. Bad Bunny feels like he owes the Valentine Mafia the Red Queen. Oh, I think that was just like, I needed to work on Bad Bunny's motivation. Miku's powers overwhelming the planet, needs to find ways to charge. I am actually really surprised by this because there was definitely an idea that I had on Rosary, the power source that we have going on, and how Miku might be powering the planet, or maybe her residual energy from the crystal is going towards the planet and fueling the lab and other things. Maybe even like the security on the planet or sustaining the planet itself. Maybe when she leaves, the planet is going to crumble in on itself, or maybe she was holding up the atmosphere and maybe very possibly the planet is nearing a black hole and it's getting sucked into it and orbiting around a black hole. And the reason why it sustained its distance from it is maybe because Miku has been charging or powering the safeguards that maybe the Mad Hatter created to maintain a very specific gravitational force that keeps it in a very specific orbit. Even if other things get sucked into the black hole, maybe the planet is safeguarded from that. Or some sort of entity that is looking for Underland. Maybe what she is safeguarding is this kind of, I'd say, barrier or camouflage where you can't detect the planet. That's why no one's been able to find Underland except for Misfit, because Misfit just somehow has access to it. I think I do have more information about Misfit that lets us understand why he's able to find Underland, but it could be that the reason why Underland has not been able to be discovered is because Miku's been maintaining the camouflage or invisibility of the planet. Either which way, when she is not forced to leave the planet or decides to leave the planet, those safeguards fall down. Or maybe, maybe when Bad Bunny comes to Miku and discovers her, there's a possibility that he leads whatever dark entity is trying to find Rosary or is trying to destroy planets. Either which way, they have a very dark and sinister agenda that leads to the destruction of Underland or the corruption of Underland. And Miku needs to escape, or needs to help Bad Bunny escape. And by leaving, the security that she's been powering goes down. And that's the destruction in the final, just like rip. 5 big booms, boom, 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 for the planet of Underland. Thoughts? Concerns? Comments? That was a lot just now. I should probably write that down. Friendly side note, I don't even know what we would do with this information, like how to categorize this, but we're just gonna start writing. Maybe when Bad Bunny, and if you guys know, I mean, if you saw last writing session, if you're new to this channel, I'm not a writer. I am just kind of word vomiting. I'm an idea generator. But when I go into these like first drafts of ideas, very messy, very bad. I would say that I do have the skill set to write and then write in draft 1, draft 2, draft 3, millions of drafts, and I can make something pretty, but it would take a lot of time. I'm very not naturally good at it. I think if I really, really, really try hard, I could be super, super decent, but not right now. Anyways, maybe when Bad Bunny comes to the planet Underland, he mistakenly leads a mysterious and sinister force to the planet. This forces Miku, who has a new fondness for Bad Bunny, to save him and leave the planet and help him escape the planet. However, Miku was using her residual power from her rosary heart. Did I spell it rosary or rosary? Rosary heart, to power the security of the planet that maintained the secret. Oh, this is so bad. Of the planet. Oh, here's the thing, because it doesn't make sense that she had to leave and then the invisibility of the planet went down and then the aliens came. Because then the aliens would have come, like they were forced to escape because I'm saying aliens, but like, I don't know, so whatever entity, we have to figure out the bad guy of the story for sure. I think we'll figure that out after this section. I think I have an idea around a rosary that'll help us, guide us. But let's see. Maybe something happens that causes her power to flicker. Let's see. Maybe it can mean two separate things. So Bad Bunny comes to the planet Underland and he mistakenly leads a mysterious and sinister force of planet when he tampers with Miku's heart. Maybe he's trying to steal it with Miku's heart. This forces Miku, who has a new fondness for Bad Bunny, to save him and help him escape the planet. However, Miku was using her residual power from Rosary Heart to power the security of the planet and maintained the gravitational force that kept it from destruction from a black hole or something like that. I don't know if it needs to be a black hole. It could be anything. Maybe it could just be that like when Miku leaves, it's set to crumble via the Mad Hatter, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it needs to be said that tampers with Miku's heart. In tampering with her heart, the security of the planet wavers and cloaks the planet, very briefly revealing its coordinate. The dark entity that is seeking this forgotten planet. The Mad Hatter set up this invisible cloak around the planet so that no other will find the last of Rosary. Okay, I think this is messy. It's messy. Let's get our friend ChatGPT, where you at, to help us. Can you help me write about the end of Underland as a planet when Bad Bunny arrives using this new information? Interesting. All right, that's a lot of information. I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'm kind of spoiling it for myself by reading as it goes on. Here's a dramatic and immersive take on the downfall of Underland when Bad Bunny arrives. The arrival of Bad Bunny on Underland was never meant to spell its doom, but fate had other plans. Driven by desperation and the looming threat of the Valentine Mafia, Bad Bunny tampers with Miku's heart, believing he can harness its power. But in doing so, he unknowingly disrupts the delicate balance of the planet's security system, one built by the Mad Hatter to keep Underland hidden from the eyes of the universe. For a fleeting moment, the planet's cloaking field flickers, exposing its long-forgotten coordinates to the void, and something out there is watching. A dark force, vast and unfathomable, had spent centuries scouring the cosmos for this lost world, a planet that once thrived on Rosary, the last true source of immeasurable energy. With Underland's location now revealed, the entity locks onto its signal, sending forth an unrelenting force to reclaim what was lost. Miku, who has found an unexpected fondness for the mischievous yet broken Bad Bunny, sees the horror unfold. The invisible veil around the the veil? Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. The idea of a veil is like, I think could be a core concept in this like universe. Like the idea when people have cloaking devices, they could call it a veil. Oh wow. I love that word. I love that word. I love that word. Just had to write it down, sorry. The invisible veil around Underland, once held in place by the residual power of a rosary heart, was also what stabilized the planet's delicate gravitational field. Without it, Underland teeters on the brink of destruction, its surface fracturing as the pole of a lurking black hole begins to unravel its very foundation. The Mad Hatter's failsafe had worked for centuries, keeping the world intact. But now, with Miku weakened and her power compromised, the planet has no hope of survival. Faced with the impossible, Miku makes a choice. Despite everything, despite Bad Bunny's recklessness, she saves him. As the sky collapses and the ground fractures beneath them, she uses the last of her failing energy reserves to ensure his escape. In a desperate act, she pushes him toward the portal that Misfit opens at the last possible second, forcing him into the unknown, away from the destruction he unwittingly caused. Miku stays behind for just a moment longer, watching the last remnants of the Underland spiral into oblivion, a home that was never truly hers, yet the only place she had ever belonged. Now, nothing more than a fading ember swallowed by the abyss. With the last pulse of her rosary-powered heart, she takes flight, her body propelled forward as the black hole pulls Underland into eternal darkness. She doesn't know where she will land, she only knows she is still alive, and that the dark force hunting Underland is now hunting her instead. Like, rah. Okay, there's definitely, ChatGPT definitely filled in quite a few gaps in terms of like what that experience looked like, and definitely the concept of her heart. The thing about Miku, I think her dilemma is that she has an overwhelming amount of energy. Like I don't think she ever loses energy. Or if we think about it, like the planet was being powered by her, like she had energy allocated towards powering herself, but in order for her to have this equilibrium, she also needed to use her residual or her extra energy to power the planet, and that was keeping her in equilibrium. But because the planet died and she severed herself from the planet, it very possibly she's low on energy. But soon enough, because of the natural resource of her heart, it's going to start generating too much energy, and I think that's going to cause problems later on. So yeah, that's definitely something to think about. But let's get to integrating this with our story. And yeah, what was our little chant? I forgot it. It was like copy and paste, copy, paste, paste, let's get replaced, placed, something like that. I don't know. Oh my freaking, what a story. This story is all coming together, guys. It's all coming together. I feel like that when Kronk is like, oh yeah, it's all coming together. Anyways, the last piece of what we're going to work through the day. And I was so excited by this idea. I don't think I need to find it back in my notes, but I do just want to know and see if there was any information I forgot. So I'm going to attempt to look for it. Oh yes, it says Galactic Church uses rosary. Mad Hatter give BB the stopwood. Oh, okay, sorry, that's for another day. Love that though. Galactic Church uses rosary for healing abilities. How did the resources start? Via enchantment. Ah, yeah. It's all coming together. Alrighty. So we have this concept of rosary, and I thought it was like, it's a little too basic. Like the concept of rosary just being this like raw power source, like interesting, cool, fine. But I think that when it comes to this world, the power sources, the different ores and power sources all originated from magic in a way. But because of this kind of merge of magic and technology and sorcery, just different branches of our magic system that also plays into the political system and technology across the universe, across planets, that we will get to that structuring. Baby steps. But I would say early planet days, when magic was drawn from another dimension, magical dimension, much like we see in Arcane. Sure, many other stories use the concept of drawing magic from another dimension, though I can't name any other story. Or I actually think that Lord of the Rings uses like a certain other dark dimension of sorts, very loose magic in that world, I think. But anyways, the resources started via magical enchantment. When magic users were trying to, like wizards or sorcerers, magic users were trying to develop magical items, they spent a long time using a base gem that could attune itself to different types of magic. So maybe there's a word for that base gem. I think it'll be better if we write this out together. So we can say, in the early days of the Wonderland XOXO 0x0 universe, the whole entire universe is called Wonderland. In the early days of the WonderlandX0X0 universe, magic users drew their power from a magical dimension and learned to alter the language of this universe to create tombs and spells. Over time, the majority of the population, the majority of the universe relied on magic users for services and miracles. However, over time, a base ore was found that could adapt itself to magic and attune to specific magic types were created through the process of enchantment. And if this base ore was left among others, it was able to grow naturally to more ore of that specific magic typing over time and via specific conditions depending on the magic type and enchantment level. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Let's just make this clear. I don't want it to be super, I guess let's brainstorm. If there was, for example, a magician who was trying to come up with a resource that would help warm others, or that could be used as kindling, they could enchant this base ore with a fire ability. And over time, through this kind of process of enchantment, it turned it into something that's very similar to that of coal. And I don't know, it's not a fail-safe thing, that's for sure. Let's just say it was very difficult. This process, very difficult. And over time, I don't know if this concept works. We're thinking it through right now, but I think it might be a failed idea. I'm just seeing too many, not enough. I don't see how this can be implemented, and it doesn't help me sustain the world, and it's just like too loose of a concept. It feels a little bit too overpowered, too simplified. Let me just read it through one more time. Let's say this process was very difficult. This process, however, is still very difficult, and over time the ore loses purity, loses its magic purity and often must be re-enchanted by magic users to increase effectiveness. That's kind of okay. Let's just say rosary, however, is a particular result of healing enchantment. Priests, oh wait, let's created by a holy saint wizard who founded the galactic church. So at the time, rosary had another name. Okay, let me just look through. I'm getting very Full Metal Alchemist, but I do want to look up what the origins of the Philosopher's Stone is. Okay, the Philosopher's Stone is a legendary substance that alchemists believe could turn metals into gold. The idea of Philosopher's Stone has roots in Greek. Okay, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. I want it to be... Oh, no. Is there an item in Legends that revives the dead? Is there an item... Not League of Legends. Is there an item in a legend that revives the dead? Hindu, the Sanjivani is a magical herb. Oh, interesting. That is said to have the power to revive the dead, often mentioned in the Ramayana, where Hanuman retrieves it to heal Lakshmana, who was mortally wounded, making it a legendary item that can bring someone. Let's look through. Is there an item in a Greek staff intertwined with snakes? Okay, let's just say, and it doesn't, we'll come up with a nickname for this though. Rosary, however, is a particular result of healing enchantment created by a holy saint wizard who founded the galactic church. Let's see, where can we go from here? How is rosary used? Who has ties to that of the Mad Hatter, who originally developed the plans for this ore in hopes to revive the White Queen, or maybe to revive, who else is there? Maybe the mouse. Revive his friend. Who else is the Mad Hatter friends with? Tea Party. Who's he friends with? It's the hare, the mouse. I'm just gonna call her Mouser. Rosary was found concentrated in Underland, where the Mad Hatter originally resided in. However, the holy saint wizard plotted to use this planet as a home base for the galactic church to make its stand. I think as the was on the rise and the galactic church monopolizing its healing purposes, those who sought to obtain it, whether by greed or ambition or pure intention, war broke out. Sorry for my terrible grammar, and really honestly that was terrible, but we're just gonna go with that. War broke out. A huge galactic war had gone on, and that is what led the Mad Hatter to veil the planet after its odd disappearance and facade a self-destruction, leaving the planet Underland to be that of a beautiful myth and rosary lost to time. All right, are we ready, team? Aye, Captain. Can you help me write about the disappearance of Underland and the origin of magical items and ore in the world using this new information as well. Boom. Oh, I love this part. Alrighty. Here's a rich and immersive expansion on the disappearance of Underland and the origins of magical ores in the Wonderland universe. The rise of magic and the birth of enchanted ores. In the early days of WonderlandX0X0 universe, magic was not something wielded, it was spoken. The very fabric of existence contained a divine language, one that early magic users learned to interpret and alter, weaving spells and crafting tomes from the echoes of the cosmos. These sorcerers became the architects of miracles shaping reality itself. For ages, civilizations flourished under their guidance, relying on them for everything from healing to construction, from war to wisdom. But magic, no matter how divine, was difficult to harness. Only a select few could master its complexities. That was until the discovery of the base ore. This ore, found buried in forgotten worlds, possessed a unique trait. It could resonate with magic. By embedding it with enchanted energy, magic users could create specialized ores attuned to different spell types. With time, these enchanted ores could even reproduce, growing in clusters if placed under the right conditions. However, this process was never perfect. Over time, the ores decayed, their magic purity thinning, and requiring constant re-enchantment by skilled magic users. This cycle ensured that magic remained an ever sought-after commodity, and soon, entire industries were built upon its refinement. Yet, among all known magical ores, one stood apart: Rosary. The creation of Rosary in the Galactic War. Rosary was unlike any other ore, born from healing enchantments. It had the ability to restore life, mend wounds beyond ordinary magic, and even slow the effects of aging. The first of its kind was created by a holy saint wizard, the founder of the Galactic Church, a religious order dedicated to the preservation of life and order across the stars. Or so they say. But Rosary's origins were deeply intertwined with the Mad Hatter. Long before the Galactic Church's rise, the Mad Hatter had lived on a remote, resource-rich planet known as Underland. It was there that he first experimented with the base ore, attempting to craft a mineral that could sustain life itself. His motivation? The resurrection of his dearest friend, Mauser, who had been lost to time. The holy saint wizard, upon learning of this miraculous ore, saw an opportunity. Rosary could become the foundation of a new order, a healing force that would cement the church's influence across the galaxies. And so, Underland was chosen to be the church's stronghold, a sacred home for those who sought healing, redemption, and power. But nothing of such value remains unchallenged. The promise of Rosary, whether for greed, ambition, or genuine hope, drew the attention of warlords, corporations, and entire planetary factions. A galactic war erupted, spanning decades as countless forces sought to control Underland and its miraculous resource. In the chaos, the Mad Hatter saw the inevitable. Underland would not survive. The vanishing of Underland. Refusing to let the planet fall to ruin, the Mad Hatter devised an illusion of destruction. With his unparalleled intellect, he wove a complex veil around Underland, shielding it from all detection. To the rest of the universe, the planet was gone, a casualty of the war, a tragic loss swallowed by time. In reality, Underland still existed, hidden beneath an impenetrable cloak known only in myths and whispers. Over centuries became nothing more than a beautiful legend, the lost world of Rosary, spoken of in fairy tales, dismissed by scholars and sought by dreamers. The fall of Underland and the return of Rosary. But legends do not stay buried forever. When Bad Bunny arrives in Underland and tampers with Miku's Rosary-powered heart, he unknowingly disturbs the ancient security system that had hidden the planet for centuries. The cloaking field, once absolute, flickers, just for a moment. But a moment is all it takes. A dark entity, one that had been searching for Underland since its disappearance, sees the breach. It locks onto the exposed coordinates, and the hunt begins again. Miku, realizing what has happened, watches in horror as the planet begins to unravel. The invisible field that had kept Underland stable was fueled by her heart's lingering power. Now, with her strength fading and the veil shattered, the gravitational forces keeping the planet intact fail. The planet once lost to history is truly dying now, collapsing into itself, torn apart by the pull of a massive black hole that had lurked at its edges for millennia. But Miku does not leave alone. With the last of her strength, she saves Bad Bunny, forcing him through Misfits portal. As Underland crumbles, the planet vanishes in its final breath, not in fire, but in silence. Oh, that's cool. Yet something escapes the wreckage. The last fragment, a rosary, the final link to Underland's forgotten past, lives on within Miku's heart. And now, with Underland truly gone, she is the only one left who holds its power, a power that the universe and the dark force that pursued it all will never stop searching for. Guys, what the actual freak? We did that. We freaking did that. We're actually insane on the real. We're insane. Copy, paste, get replaced, placed. Oh, copy, paste, get replaced, placed. Alrighty. Oh my gosh. That was crazy. My throat is dry, but my heart is full. Okay, guys. That was, and I say it every single time, but a ridiculous amount of fun. I love Write With Me's. I love them. And I love that we got to put this miscellaneous lore together, which didn't end up being so miscellaneous because I think we got some more information, really great information. We tied it all together. Wow. So much fun. I cannot contain myself. I think we're going to switch gears in the next week and focus a little bit on art. We'll see what I can do. I'm tired. But anyways, thank you for watching. And if you made it this far into the video, my golly, why not? Like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more videos like this. I would not want you to miss another writing session like this because, oh my gosh, they're so much fun. And if you have any suggestions, new ideas, questions, little plot holes that you guys have found that I didn't think of, that I should think more of, that we want to work through, please comment down below. I will figure that out. And yeah, let's put our brains together. Let's get this going. And if you've been seeing the pictures right over here, I have a Discord server, and for writers, for artists, for, you know, character developers, designers, all things creative, come join us and come hang. I love to see new art. I love to hear about characters. I love to, I love seeing you guys. So join us in our cozy server, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.